Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. It's time for an update, an actual review on new makeup. This is one of those products that I purchased in late December, and I don't know if it got here like the 30th, 31st, or whether it got here the first week of January, but this is the Auric Glow Lust, and I have been loving this. I am going to make it really clear that I have combo skin, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, and where I live right now, temperatures are still, well, we're getting to that weird spring fluctuation weather, where earlier this week, the high for the day was 25, and then yesterday the high was like 50. So, you know, it's changing. And I feel like so far, since it's not officially warm or even anywhere near hot, this has been working great for me. I use this as a primer. That's what I was using on my face today. And I have been notorious for hating primers, not wanting to use primers, because I feel like it's just one extra step. This is the extra step I want to take because it makes my skin look so pretty. There are also days that I wear this and concealer and brush my brows up and then put on either lipstick or lip gloss and tap my fingers over this and like apply it as blush. So I'm wearing like 2 or 3 products. I love this. My favorite thing about this, first of all, is the shade. It's the most perfect shade for my fair skin. This is the lightest shade in Morganite, but I like, you see how it has pigmentation to it and how it actually feels like if I put this on my skin, I feel like it can knock down the redness a little bit. It can give a level of coverage, but the minute you blend it in, it's just glowy, hydrated, beautiful skin. I feel like this would be beautiful on people who are dealing with dry skin. I'm 47. I don't feel like this sits badly on my skin or it emphasizes texture, because I do have, you know, crow's feet. I do have larger pores like across the tops of my nose and right in through here. I do have like expression lines in my forehead. I don't find that this makes those areas more noticeable, and it doesn't also, at this time of the year, make my foundation kind of settle into my crinkles, like under my eyes, my forehead, like corners of my mouth, like right in through here, corners of my nose as well. I feel like it's just a really beautiful product, and it just makes my skin look prettier. So I have been loving the Auric Glow Lust. Another one that I have really been liking a lot, but I have to use it a specific way, is this. This is the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. So I like this. I have the lightest shade. I wish it came just a hair lighter. This is shade 1N, because you can see that it's a little dark. It blends okay, but it is a little yellow and a little warm for my neutral skin. I can make it work, but I would really prefer this if it was like shade 0.5. But I've never seen Charlotte do a shade 0.5, and I like this a lot. This does something that's really interesting. I find that there are some foundations that when you put them on, they look a little too made up, and then they kind of settle into like a really pretty area, and then as the day goes on, it kind of degrades a little bit, like starts to fall apart, and you look a little like, what's going on? This, I don't feel like has a window like that. I feel like this looks good from the minute I put it on all throughout the day. And I like that about this. The one thing I will tell you is, since I have combo skin, I get really oily around my, not really, but I get oily around my nose. This breaks up around my nose unless I'm using a mattifying primer. In the summertime, I don't know that this would have the same level of longevity that I'm able to get. I'm able to get like a full day wear out of it. I don't know that I've ever worn it for the 16 hours, but I have worn it for like 15 and it still looked really pretty all day. I also like that it doesn't settle into like my forehead lines. This is where I find a lot of times product will settle and I'll have like what looks like little lines of, you know, color here, or corners of my nose, or like right here, there's like a little area where my mouth, it's slightly downturned, but there's like little lines right here where product tends to collect. This has not been doing that. So the fact that it doesn't settle into areas, that it looks good from the minute I put it on until when I'm ready to wash my face at the end of the day. It looks skin-like. It's not too heavy. It's not too sheer. I feel like this is a really good foundation, and on my 47-year-old skin, looks really pretty. I got this in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is a artistic blush from Surratt Beauty. This is a really light shade. This is the shade Duchesse. And this is what she looks like. It looks really pretty here, but do you know how much I had to build this up? I was like literally like you know, and doing this like 4 times to get the pigmentation that I have here. And I'm putting on still a lot more. And the problem I have is unless I use my finger, I'm not getting enough pigment on my cheeks to really notice it. I think it's a pretty color and I want to wear it, but it's really, really, really fair. I'm still struggling to figure out how to use this. I want to love it. I like the formula. I like the way that it's finely milled. I really do like the color, but I don't know. I don't know. I still haven't figured this out. And this is the 3rd Surratt product that I have tried that I have not been able to figure out. And I know I'm not a professional makeup artist, but this confuses me. And I don't know that it's so much the formula, but rather this really, really light shade. And it's really pretty here, but I can never get this here. I can't, I don't know. So this has been a hit for me. This is the Rose Inc Cream and Lip product. This is the shade Azalea. What is it officially called? This is their Lip and Cheek color. All right, this I think is gorgeous. I like the formula. It's very, very creamy. What's interesting is the first time I remember touching it, I put my finger in there and I was trying to move it across and it wasn't really sliding. It felt a lot thicker, and it is a really thick and very pigmented product. This is one of those that, of course, lips or cheeks, and this is way too much for this one area of my hand, but I like this. I think I'm gonna just keep continuing to blend as I talk to you. I feel like what I like about this is that it has a natural kind of glow to it. It's not iridescent, it's not shiny, it's not highlighter-like, it just looks like glowy skin. I think it's because whatever emollients they use in this formula gives you that really soft, pretty, almost glowy look on the skin. It looks hydrated, it looks pretty, but there's literally no shimmer to this, so it's not like you're getting a highlighted look. It's just like it's beautifully moisturized. I love this. I like it on the lips too. I don't find that it wears well on the lips long term. It's one of those that I feel like really is created as a cheek product, and they say you can use it in a couple of areas. Yeah, you can use it on your lips. I tend to not reach for it for my lip product very frequently because it doesn't last as long as I want a lip product to last. And then on top of that, I feel like unless I'm wearing all sorts of, lip liner and being careful, it can kind of, head out of my lip lines because, oh, I'm even happening here with this today. The older I get, the more of those fine lines I have, and more emollient products tend to just spread. But I love it as a cheek product, and on the day that I'm needing a really light, fast makeup look, I have been loving this. I have been so divided on my thoughts with this Westman Atelier Lit Up Highlighter Stick. This is the shade Lit. It looks like a clear, shiny balm, but when you put it on, it has kind of an interesting, almost bluish, purple, I don't know, it looks kind of opalescent to me, and I like that about it. I also like how glossy and shiny it is, and I find that this is one of those that I can't use like from the stick straight to the cheek, because when I do that, unless I'm not wearing any other makeup, this product is it greasy? No, it's not greasy. It's very emollient. It's very balm-like. It's very slippy, but it never sets. So the problem that causes for me is that my hair will get stuck in it, or, I'm holding my cat and my cat's hair gets stuck in it and I have like little pieces of cat hair on my face. And because it is so emollient that if I were to swipe it onto my face, it would eat through whatever I have down. So I couldn't put it over a set face. I couldn't use it over foundation. Even if I have concealer like just under my eyes, I'm trying to blend it into here. Anytime it goes over any of that, it eats through that. So I have the most success with this when I pick it up like this and then tap it on. I also can't do it a lot, and I can't go over the same spot a lot. I also find that it works well if I pick it up like, say, with a brush and do it that way, but I prefer it with my finger. I have scrubbed it onto like a sponge before. This works pretty well too, just, doing this and then tapping it on. But I find that if I do this, it eats through everything I have. I wish it dried down. It's not what it's made for. And I like the look of that. I think this will be the sort of thing that I would want to use on days, when the weather is warmer and my skin is looking a little juicier and glowier and I have my hair pulled back because it's hot. And, you know, I have a little bit of like a cream or liquid cheek product on, and then a little bit of this tapped over the top, a little bit of something in my brows really lightly, and a lip gloss. This is kind of like that effortless, no fuss sort of makeup, but if you have pets, don't snuggle them or their hair will stick to this, or your hair will too. And if you have ways to get around that, that's great. I don't know. And at the price that it is, I don't know that you have to have one. Does that make sense? I always save lip products for last. Let's not. I'm going to start with two lip liners I have really been enjoying. This is one that I got from Beauty Pie. This is their Wonder Gel Longwear Lip Liner. This is the shade Vanilla Nude. I actually like this a lot. It is so dull because I've been using it a ton. This is what it looks like. I feel like this is a less expensive alternative to those longwear gel lip liners that you might like from Charlotte Tilbury, from Pat McGrath, from Lisa Eldridge. I like that it glides, it doesn't tug, it lasts really well. It's not as long lasting as your Pat McGrath or your Lisa Eldridge. I feel like it dupes Charlotte Tilbury really, really, really well. And the one thing that I feel that Charlotte does that also Beauty Pie does is they are really good at having a wide variety of nude shades, of liner, of lipstick, of gloss. And I feel like maybe they were kind of gunning for the Charlotte Tilbury when they created this, but I have been liking it and it has been wearing really well. Pat McGrath and Lisa Eldridge still just beat it out a little bit when it comes to longevity. This is one that I got in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is from Wayne Goss. This is the shade Natural Berry. I have been loving this, and I know they're gonna look similar. I'm gonna make larger swatches of both. I've always liked Wayne's formula, and I feel like this shade here is so pretty. It goes with almost everything. It's not quite my lip color, but so close. I like that it is a harder, more kohl type pencil. It doesn't have the same formula that this one has. It's not a gel formula. It doesn't glide the same way, but you can sharpen this to the sharpest little point and then draw, and it stays sharper for longer. I like that a lot. And I also find that it's not so creamy that as I'm trying to get the very edge of my lips, because 47, I'm losing that volume in my lips. That's totally fine, but I want to still define the outside edge. And I find that it's a little bit easier with this because the gel lip liners, they get really dull really quick and I'm forever sharpening. And some of my favorite ones, like I have a favorite one. This one is from Lisa Eldridge, and look how tiny it's getting. And this is because I sharpen it to get it right at the edge, and then I go to the other side, oh, I need to sharpen it again. And I feel like I'm losing a lot of product because it's so creamy, it kind of comes to like a dull point quicker. This one holds on to its like sharp little point. I like that about it. I also really love the color. I have all of the colors he originally launched, and I don't have all the colors he's made now, but I like the first 5. I think they're beautiful and they're an excellent addition to my collection. Also in Beautylish Lucky Bag, I got this. It's the Wayne Goss, what is it, the High Shine Lip Gloss, and it's in the shade Cherry Blossom, and I like how shiny it is. This is one that I had originally purchased when he came out with his line in May of 2020. I like this formula. I like that it doesn't settle into the corners. I like that it doesn't string and pull. I like that it's not sticky. It doesn't feel heavy and goopy. I think it's a really beautiful formula. I also really like the shape of the doe foot applicator. I like that it is, you know, teardrop. It's a little chubby, not too much, but I feel like it's really good for application. I have been enjoying this a lot, and if you find a shade from Wayne that you like, I really like his formula. All right, I have 2 pencil-like lip products here. Let's talk about this one. This is from Beauty Pie. This is the Shine Up Lip Color Balm. This is the shade Love, Love, Love. And I love, love, love this shade. It is shiny. I had a problem with this. And the problem I had was for 4 days straight, I love the color so much. And when you do a light, you know, wash of it, it looks like this, which is just barely anything. And there are days when I'm not wearing makeup, I want my lips to look a little bit more alive and be hydrated. And because the word balm is actually in the title, I was sure this was going to be a hydrating stick. And I don't know whether it was an ingredient in here that my lips don't like, or whether it's not as hydrating as I expected it to be. But after 4 days, I felt like my lips were peeling, they were dry, they were crusty. It's like, what's the deal? And I had been literally carrying this in my pant pocket so I could pull it out and reapply multiple times throughout the day. This was the only product I wore, and my lips were dying. And so I don't know that it's as balmy as it says. I don't know that it's as hydrating as I want a shiny product to be. And this is interesting because there are a lot of products out there that are shiny but aren't hydrating. And there are ones that aren't shiny but are hydrating. So this is one that for me, I did not find it to be hydrating. I do like the color. I do like the shine that it gives. I like that it can be thick or thin. I think it looks really pretty. I will continue to use it, but I would not buy another one of these. And it's probably not the first thing I would recommend to you from the Beauty Pie lip line. This is the Rose Ink Lip Sculpt. This came in a trio of products that I was trying. This is the shade Quartz. I love this shade. It looks like this. All right, so the one thing that's interesting is I didn't know anything at all about Rose Ink. I knew I wanted to try this, and they had this set that they had put out for the holidays called their Modern Essentials. It came with the blush, with this, and a brow product we'll talk about in a minute. But I always love a lip product, but I'm a huge lip junkie and a little bit of a lip snob. I want something, first of all, that's beautiful, it's unlike anything else I have, or if you're gonna be like what else I have, you have to be better than everything else I have. And I don't know that this fell into that category of better than everything else I have, because normally when I see products in packaging like this, I expect them to be shiny and glossy like this from Beauty Pie, and it's not, it's matte, and I like that. But the box likened it to a balm, and the minute you say balm, okay, I'm expecting moisture, I'm expecting like all sorts of deliciousness. And let me just read you what it says on the Rose Ink website about what this is going to do. It's supposed to be ideal for dry, chapped, and irritated lips. I didn't find that to be the case. It says it's the delivery of a matte, saturated color with the benefits of a balm. This formula sculpts the lips with a look that's smoother, fuller, and more defined. It has hyaluronic acid, squalane, ceramides, hemp, and vitamin E to fill lip lines and plump as it conditions the delicate skin. And all I could think of was, this did not fill and plump my lips. I feel like that's a lot of claims to put on a lip product. This to me is just a slightly less fussy version of a matte lipstick. And I didn't find it to be moisturizing. Of course, I was trying this in January. Where I live in Washington State, it was dry. Temperatures were in the teens and the 20s. So maybe it was unfair. Maybe I will like this more in warmer months when my lips aren't being completely tortured by indoor heating and extreme dryness and cold. But I feel like it's pretty and it's a really nice color, and I feel like it would work for a lot of people. I liked it best when I've been wearing it for a couple of hours and it had kind of blended to something more like this. And you do see how it's kind of smudgy. It can do that on my lips, and it doesn't, this is one of those products that I feel like some products when they get smudgy like that, they just look messy. This one didn't look messy, it looked intentional, and it could be the way that it's formulated. So I feel like it's a good product. I'm not gonna like declutter it. I actually really love the color. And I love that, I'm expecting shiny and I'm not getting shiny when I put this on, but it doesn't do all of its claims of filling in lines, making your lips look smoother. I didn't find it to be particularly hydrating. It didn't dry my lips out, but it wasn't adding in that layer of moisture that it says it's going to. And it has balm-like claims. No, this is just a matte lipstick, a non-drying matte lipstick, but it's just a matte lipstick. The last thing that came in the set from Rose Ink was this. This is their Brow Renew. It's their clear brow gel. I feel like their tinted brow gel has a different shaped spoolie on it. This one's kind of like a little bubble. It's supposed to not just condition your eyebrows, but also to set them in place. And it's supposed to be a soft, holdable feel. And yes, it is soft, but I don't know that it actually keeps them in place very long. I have liked this all right. Let me just grab a quick mirror here. And I feel like it does an okay job. It's supposed to also add bulk and to help groom. And I feel like on a no makeup day, because it's clear, this would be good. And I have been using it like as a clear gel over the top of something else. I feel like it does an okay job, and it doesn't dry to that crispy hairspray texture that a lot of people don't like. I don't mind that because I know that if it's like that, it's not moving. I feel like this, although it's soft, my hairs can be a little unruly sometimes, and it only lasts for a couple of hours before I feel like I either need another layer of it or I need something else. So I can get some lift and volume out of my eyebrows with this, but it doesn't stay that way all day. So if you need something that's gonna hold just a little bit longer, It's not bad. It's supposed to also help, you know, moisturize, condition, help you build more brows. I don't know, I haven't been using it that long, but I definitely feel like for the price, I wouldn't run out and buy another one. I would definitely go for something that either has a tint in it, because that's what I like, or if I'm gonna go for something that's clear, I'm gonna go for, where is it? The Control Freak from NYX. It's less expensive, there's more product. This is their travel size, of course, but this is still $12. So you can get this for less than that, and there's more product in here, and it is literal like hairspray for your eyebrows. So if I want mine to stay exactly where I have them and not move, I'm not gonna be repurchasing this. There's a product that I got in my Beautylish Lucky Bag that I didn't expect to love as much as I do, but I feel like I get the best use out of them when I use them in a specific way, and it's this. I got an entire set of Units brushes. Units is a brand that does cruelty-free synthetic fibers, and this orange series is kind of like their luxe high-end, like this is the answer to those you know, handmade Japanese brushes. They're super soft. I feel like I'm like touching a downy newborn duckling. Like, it's crazy soft. All right, so obviously I've been using this one a lot. This one is my fave. This is the 301. I've been using this for bronzer, for contour. I love, love, love. Another one that I like is the 302. This is their powder brush. I've been using this a lot. So there are 3 brushes that I use a ton, and then 3 that I don't really use that much. So if you can't buy these individually. If you are interested, I would feel like if you want a really nice soft powder brush, this 302 is great. And if you're looking for a really nice bronzer brush, this 301, I feel like these are the 2 that get the most use out of everything that I got. These are the brushes that I use the most next. This is a 303, which is an angled kind of, you know, contour brush, and the 304, which is their foundation brush. I find that when I use this with liquid foundation, I can use it for one day with great success. Day 2, I feel like a lot of product gets stored up in here, and I can only use it for 2 days before it needs to be washed. I feel like if I'm using something like this is another synthetic brush. Obviously I've used it, it's dirty, but I feel like I can use this for almost a full week before it gets to the point where I just feel like I'm leaving streaks in my foundation. I feel like this one streaks quicker, and I don't know whether it's the size because it's smaller, I don't know. This one here I do use with my cream products. This is the So Soft Blush from M Cosmetics. This is what I'm wearing today as bronzer, kind of bronzer. Draw a little stripe on and then I can blend it out. It's great for that, and because this is not as liquid as a foundation, I find that I can use this for a full week without needing to wash it like all the time. And if I use this with liquid foundation, it needs to be washed more frequently. These last 2 here are ones I really haven't found myself using. They're suggesting this for highlight and they're suggesting this for blush. Okay, fine, whatever. I love the shape of this, and I am more likely to use this for highlight, and I have, but this is so tiny. I don't know what I would use this for. Maybe like setting underneath the eye, but I tend to like this shape a little bit better. I feel like this little slightly more domed egg shape from Wayne Goss works really well underneath my eye. So these are the 2 that I use the least. I think that if you are interested in getting this set, picking up the ones that you think you would use the most, if you like brushes that are shaped like this and are this size, that's great. They're super soft. I think that they do best with creams and powders, but that's just been my experience. I'm really almost wanting to pick up the eye set just to see what they're like. I got this Natasha Denona Zendo palette in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is what it looks like. It's a beautiful palette. I like the formulations in here. There's one formula that I don't always understand, and it's kind of like a cream to powder formula, and it comes in the matte, I have noticed. And I don't know if there's another one of these, but these are the 2 that I can instantly think of, where it kind of has a creamy feel to it, and they're beautiful, but I am struggling to pick these up with a brush. I'm not a professional makeup artist. I don't know how best to use these. I don't know how to get these not to look patchy on my eye, so these 2 colors have not been a super success for me. The other thing I'll tell you is I haven't been using these kind of darker cool tones here a lot. I've been sticking more in these guys with this kind of mint, and not together, but like I did one day, I used the mint just over the eye with a little bit of this gold sheer thing tapped over the top, and it was pretty. I just really haven't been reaching for this a lot, and I would normally live in this portion over here, but I find like some of these colors are really intense. Like, that's a lot. And these shades, although they're pretty, I would be more likely to wear them as a lip shade than on the eye because these really intense shades really intimidate me. Although it's a beautiful palette, it's kind of lost on me. And that's why I didn't pick it up originally, because the warms are too warm and they're also darker than I normally go for. And this is not usually my jam. I'm trying to make it work. It's just not a favorite. This is not something that I can see myself continually reaching for over and over and over again. Although I really wanted to love it, it has not become a favorite of mine. Another thing that came in my Beautylish Lucky Bag, and like the lip gloss from Wayne Goss I already had, was this. I do love this palette. This is the Petit-Four Lapis palette from Viseart. I love these little quads. I love that the pans are magnetic and you can, you know, carefully pull them out and rearrange them, or build your own palette with other things, or take some shades out of here and put a different one in. I love that they're like that. That's my favorite thing. But I'll tell you, I really love this palette. I haven't been using it that much because it's not been in my monthly makeup bin. But if I wasn't doing the monthly makeup bin where I'm trying to use only what I put in there, I'd be using this a lot more. I think this is a great product. I've been really wanting to try more indie eyeshadow brands, and I knew that I was looking for iridescent multi-chromes. And these all look like they're the same shade, but they're not. But do you see all the sparkle fallout in here? These are really high maintenance eyeshadows. And I don't know if that's true for all of the Clionadh Cosmetics eyeshadows, but these are not the eyeshadows I would recommend to you if you like an easy no fuss look, or if you're just getting into makeup. This is not, don't start here. They're expensive and they're a little persnickety, and you need a glitter glue or a special primer to keep them where they go without getting sparkle fallout. But I love the fact that these guys, let me get some swatches on my fingers. They all kind of look the same, right? And then when you start to apply them, you'll start to see that we've got some really pretty, interesting things going on here. This one is kind of hard to see because it's very close to my skin tone. My favorite one is this one right here in Gloaming. I'm just gonna swipe it across the bottom. It looks very, you know, nondescript here, but if we were to get a mirror, the shade that's swatched across the bottom, if you're looking at it, sometimes it looks, you know, pink or peach, and then it looks yellow or kind of limey green. It's a really interesting shade. I think these are, oh, more fallout. Oh my goodness, I'm making a mess. I think these are beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna just be careful because as you can see, me knocking them about has like loosened more sparkle everywhere. They're super pretty. I love them over a dark base. I have been loving layering these shades over the top of a finished eye look. I'm kind of using them like you would use a finishing oil or a finishing salt if you're cooking. You know, you put out that last, and you want that last little drizzle of oil or that last little sprinkle of salt. That's how I'm using these guys. I love them, but they are so high maintenance, so high maintenance. I mean, there's just sparkle everywhere. There's, you know, color everywhere. And I kind of like that. And I'm also kind of like overwhelmed by that. I love Sydney Grace so much. I really feel like when it comes to formulation and when it comes to longevity and ease of use, this is what I'm going to recommend 10 out of 10 times to anybody. If you're brand new at makeup, if you're looking just to kind of stretch yourself a little bit, I love this. This is the new palette that they released in January. It's called their Be Mine palette. I will link the video for you down in the description bar where I use this for the first time, but I love this so much. For me, it's the way that these, you know, metallics look that they're just so pretty. They're just so pretty. The mattes are just as beautiful and they blend with almost no effort at all. I love this formula so much. My favorite, of course, are like the metallics, like this one, like this one, like this one. I didn't swatch any of these lighter ones for you, but they're just like incandescent. I love them. The one thing I'm always looking for, and I feel like the minute I discovered Sydney Grace, I kind of like felt like I had come home. Like, I'm here. This is what I want. This is where I'm comfortable, and this makes me happy, and this is my safe place. But I'm looking for an eyeshadow that I don't need an eyeshadow primer with. And I know an eyeshadow primer is going to do good things, and it's going to, you know, create longevity and more punchy color, but sometimes I don't have the time or inclination for that. I just want to go. I want to put my makeup on and I want to be done and I don't want to spend all day doing it. I need 3 hours to put my face on. And I love that Sydney Grace is just as pigmented without an eyeshadow primer as it is with. I also like that I'm going to still get great longevity all day long if I don't use an eyeshadow primer. And I feel like you don't need any special tools. You can use just a regular brush. You could probably use a sponge tip applicator, your finger. Everything works great with these shadows and they just are beautiful. The price may seem a little expensive to you. This is $52, but you're getting 15 shades here. The pans are very generously sized, and beyond that, I feel like the quality is better than things I'm getting from Tarte, from Too Faced, from other brands that like Urban Decay. I feel like this is more reliable, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that I know I can count on, and I love this. And I do like that, you know, you have, you know, some warm shades, some cool shades, and then some really deep ones across the bottom. I have really been loving this. And I also love that it comes, this is the light version, there's a deep version. So if your skin tone is deeper than mine, and some of these shades may not be flattering on you, they have a shade for everybody. And it's the same color story, just with the appropriate mid-tone or transition shades so that everybody can love this palette too. All right, last thing I got were a couple of liquid shadows. I have been struggling with this one. This is the Sydney Grace kind of cream shadow. This right here is the shade Dragonfly, and I love the way it looks. It looks kind of gold here, old gold. And then if you hit it just right, there you go. It has kind of like a green look, so it looks like a dragonfly, like one of those metallic insects that just has a really beautiful shift to it. I like this. The problem I've had, people rave about this formula, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because when I put it on and I want it to be this pigmented and it dries, like halfway through the day I end up with creasing. And if I shear it out, because you can still play with it and shear it out for a while, I still end up with some creasing later on during the day, but I don't get that same level of intense pigment that I'm looking for. This is more of like a sheer wash. So I'm struggling with this. The one that I do love and I have enjoyed so much, and I didn't think I was going to, is the Danessa Myricks Twin Flames. So this right here is a duochrome eyeshadow, and it's this, I think it's specifically this shade, and this shade here is Lust. That works really well for me because I know that a lot of the other Twin Flames are deeper colors, but for me this is perfect because once it sets, it doesn't budge at all. And it looks kind of, you know, slightly pinky, peachy. I think you can see it this way. It has kind of like a gold and almost peach tone to it. And it can also look very much, you know, like it's not there. So it's pink, it's yellow, it's got a little bit of peach to it. It's a very interesting shade. And I wore this one day when it's the only thing I had on my lid. I had just this on, and the way that it caught the light, people were like, whoa, what are you wearing? Well, that's so interesting. And I wore it with a really graphic black liner, but a real thin line and really fluffy mascara. And then just this. So it looked like almost nothing. And then when the light hit it, it was like, whoo, like almost this peachy pink situation. I loved it. I really like this formula. I don't know that any of the other colors are going to be well suited to my makeup style, but I'm so glad to have this, and I think it's fabulous. I hope this was helpful. My goal is to review the products and not just give you a first impression when I'm trying it for the first time, but to really let you know, yes, it works. Or, hey, it didn't work for me. Here's who I think it might work for. That's always my goal, because I want you to be as informed as possible when you're considering what to add to your makeup collection, because you don't need as much as I have. I don't need as much as I have, but I'm willing to be the guinea pig. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.